Welcome back to the Vintage Vinyl Basement. Jeffrey Lee Puckett, music writer, Tom Heiser, music listener. Today, we are day drinking.
Well, it's early down in the basement, and it's never too early for JLP to dive into the hooch.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
At 5 o'clock somewhere. Didn't make our list, though. Yes, we've got a list of the greatest, our favorite drinking songs.
Yes.
Not beer. You know, it's not no Tom T. Hall that knows specifically I like beer. It's all drinking. And these, you know, there's some low-hanging fruit here. We got to say, you know, we could just go through the whole country playlist circa 1935 to 1955 and come up with our songs there. But I think,
or we could go through the Sinatra saloon songs.
Yes, we could. So, you know, hopefully we've done a very variegated list.
Tried to mix it up.
Try to mix it up a little bit, and there's got to be some good backstories to these songs. There have to be.
Yes.
Everybody's got them.
Probably don't end well, some of them. But.
Well, I'm gonna start off my 10 through 6 at number 10, which was actually one of my favorite country songs. "If the Drinking Don't Kill Me" by George Jones.
Her memory will.
That's right. From the blood, with blood from my body, I can make my own still. Still one of the greatest lyrics of all time. Number 9, Eric Burdon, one of my favorites. You'll know that with "Spill the Wine."
Any excuse. That's a great song. But,
it is.
But any excuse to
get Eric Burdon in here. Not yet, but I love "Spill the Wine."
Yeah.
Number 8, Merle Haggard. This is not his first appearance today, but this is his first. It will not be his last appearance today. With "The Bottle Let Me Down." If not the best drinking song in the world, maybe the best title to a drinking song in the world. Number 7, this is just, it has to be on my list, "Whiskey River." And it's Willie.
It's Willie's opening song in his concerts for, I think, the last 25 years.
As well it should be. Mm-hmm. And at number 6, I'm going with Janis Joplin.
Oh.
Crooning to "What Good Can..." She's asking the eternal question, JLP, what good can drinking do?
It does good all day long.
Well, and listening to her voice in that song, she probably needed to keep it up. Didn't stop too soon.
My 10 also starts off with country with the great Jones, which we did not plan, but "White Lightning."
Oh, that's
mighty, mighty pleasing.
And
corn squeeze.
And that's tough. "If Drinking Don't Kill Me" and "White Lightning," those are just two powerhouses by George.
"White Lightning," a song about drinking more than an excuse for drinking.
Okay.
That's what I try to do. Have some songs that just celebrate drinking and not so much about broken hearts.
That's true.
But plenty of broken hearts.
Very good reason.
I think I'll just stay here and drink. Number 9, Merle Haggard. Could have easily been a lot higher. Number 8.
And it might be later on.
Dinah Washington, my favorite lady singer of all time, with "Drinking Again." That's all about broken hearts.
Okay.
Speaking of broken hearts, number 7, my main man Tom Waits, "Bad Liver and a Broken Heart."
Broken hearts and broken eardrums.
No. He's one of the greatest crooners ever.
He's interpretive. I'll put it that way. He's interpretive.
Number 6, Snoop Dogg, "Gin and Juice."
You know what? Here's a shout out to that, because that was somewhere in the back of my mind.
Yep.
Didn't want to put it on there, but I really feel ashamed of myself that I left it off there. It's "Gin and Juice." With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Oh, excellent choice, JLP.
Thank you.
Now we have to go into the reels. These are the songs that just singing, just talking about them, want to give you a hangover. my head is hurting just in anticipation of these songs. And I'm going to kick it off at number 5 with a song covered by many over the generations. "There Stands the Glass."
Oh.
Going back to Webb Pierce, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos.
Yep.
Even as late as John Doe from X did a great cover of "There Stands the Glass." That'll ease all my pain.
That was the last thing I cut from my list.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I think I'm going to, as much as I've always been a big Buck Owens fan, and when we did our country show said so, Webb Pierce has the real twangy, kind of boozy, feeling that he's really reaching out for that glass in the morning. It's my first one today, but maybe not the last. So no, I've across all generations, like I said, that is just a terrific boozy song.
There stands the glass, hide all my tears, that will drown all my fears. Brother, I'm on my way.
I think one of the reasons I left it off is I couldn't decide whether to do Webb's version or there's this other version I'll play you later. You probably like it. It's this guy named Ted Hawkins, who was a street performer in Venice Beach, and he ended up getting to make a couple albums. So he was an alcoholic for reals, and he did a version of that song that was just heartbreaking.
Even John Doe's version of it. I mean, he paid tribute to the twanginess of it. I think he brought it up a little bit, made it a little faster than the old country songs, but still, I mean, I think he's paying homage to the spirit of the song, which is. So anybody can cover that. I'm on it.
My number 5 is the great Louie Jordan, the godfather of rock and roll, according to some. I cannot argue. Louisville Lodge Meeting.
Giving it a local flavor, JLP. Nice.
Louisville Lodge Meeting is a great kind of a jump tune about a lodge meeting that turns into a big drunken brawl.
All right.
It's a blast. It's a really great song.
It was crazy. It was crazy. They was balling and a-brawling from a Thursday night to Friday morning.
All right. I'm going to number 4 with a newer song into the as far as our list go, with Whiskeytown. Not just the name of the band, but I'm going with Dancing with the Women at the Bar.
This is one of my favorite things you've ever said.
I absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Whiskeytown, and I think that as one of the alt country bands, they really got a little bit of short shrift, I think.
It's calling my name. It says it loud and clear. When I love to see you, when I go out, dancing with the women at the bar.
I think that was because Ryan Adams rubbed everybody the wrong way.
And he actually probably made himself bigger by going, after leaving the band. The short time they were together, they did some really good stuff. Dancing with the Women at the Bar.
I love that song.
Really has a terrific twangy feel to it, and really had his voice is really slow in it, and it's the kind of song you sing like this. You can be recumbent and sing the song at the same. Man, I love the feel when I go. And right then is when you kick in with a wow, a little bit of slide guitar. Oh.
I actually have an applicable story here.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And now, story time with Jeffrey Lee Puckett.
I went, before Ryan Adams became a superstar, I actually went drinking with him at a bar.
#boo.
At Jake's Club Reno.
Nice.
And before the night was over, young Mr. Adams was out making kissy face with my date in the parking lot.
We should stop the show right here. This is worth a separate show right here. And if Ryan Adams, if you're watching, wow.
I loved the Whiskeytown so much I wasn't sure to be mad or pretty proud, I guess. I don't know. It was a tough choice.
This has been Story Time with Jeffrey Lee Puckett.
Well, go out and buy Stranger's Almanac.
That's a 5-star album.
It's a 5-star album, and this is a 6-star song with about 3 other 5-star songs on that album. So it's good for the booze.
Yeah, nicely done. I'm really proud of that one. My number 4 is a Kentucky artist, Gary Stewart. He was from Jenkins, Kentucky, which is way eastern Kentucky. It's basically on the border of either one of the Virginias or Carolina. Do we bump up against the Carolinas?
Yes, we do.
I think he's on the border of North Carolina. Anyway, he passed away a few years ago. Gary Stewart wrote some of the greatest drinking songs, and he was a gifted double entendre country writer.
Oh, from that part of the state, you realize he's got some good source material.
Yes, a lot. I could have gone with She's Acting Single and I'm Drinking Doubles.
Yeah.
But I went with the Drinking Thing at number 4. It's, what was it? I've got a drinking thing because I've been thinking things about where you been, who you're with, what you've done. It's he had a bunch of whiskey songs.
I've got this drinking thing to keep from thinking things about where you've been, who you've been with, and what you've done. And it's a lonely thing.
But that's my favorite probably. Gary Stewart,
Gary Stewart.
R.I.P.
I like it. Number 3, Merle Returns.
Boom.
At what was it, low on your list? I do love it. I think I'll just stay here and drink.
That song, when it breaks into that big sort of New Orleans thing at
Yes.
the end, that is so great.
But you just gotta love. I think it's the second or the third line in there. You don't care what I think.
Yeah.
I think I'll just stay here and drink. That's it. You don't care what I think. And then there's another line. Go ahead and take the bank or take the money from the bank. I think I'll just stay here and drink. Merle's as many great drinking songs as Merle has. He's the one singer, I think, that pulls it off perfectly because he doesn't need a twang, or what sounds like an artificial twang.
Right.
He sounds like what I wish I would sound like when I was drunk. If only I had the capability to really, sound forceful and sound meaningful after a real heavy night of drinking. Merle he pulled it off. A lot of guys can't do that.
Putting you down, don't square no deal. At least you know the way I feel. Take all the money in the bank. Think I'll just stay and drink.
That same album, Back to the Bar Rooms is the name of that album, also has Misery and Gin.
Oh, yeah.
Which came real close to
Yes,
making my list.
Absolutely. And again, Merle, we could probably come up with another 3 to 5
Right.
from the Haggard collection.
I am, despite the wealth of songs to choose from, I'm going with another Tom Waits tune at number 3. Tom Traubert's Blues, from the same album as my first Tom Waits song, Small Change, which might be the greatest drinking album ever. There's
Mark
yet
that down, folks.
there's
Mark
yet
that down.
there's yet another song on there called The Piano Has Been Drinking, Not Me.
Ah, nice.
And
That's
I'm
nice.
pretty sure he's actually drunk when he recorded that one. Tom Traubert's Blues is just one of those, it's not specifically about drinking, but it is exactly the kind of song you listen to in a bar when you're drunk.
Wasted and wounded, no hate what the moon did. God will I paid for no. Now see you tomorrow, if Frank can I borrow.
And one of the first times I went to New Orleans, actually, I was in one of those bars that technically don't close. I don't know how they do that, but you can go at any hour of the day and it's open. They were playing that song on the jukebox.
Nice.
So I felt like I was home.
I'm not a huge Tom Waits fan, but if you need a reason to explain to me why, you've done it. I mean, that's it. I'm sold. I'm sold, and I might have to listen to that album just for that.
I'll make you a mix.
I'll be glad. a real mix. Number 2, I'm going with what I had said at one time was I thought the greatest hangover song of all time, which is Sunday Morning Coming Down by Johnny Cash, written by one of my favorites, Chris Christopherson. But as you would say, as long as he doesn't sing it, then it's okay. But I do, you wake up with, you're trying to hold your head in a way that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
You go looking around for your cleanest dirty shirt.
There's nothing short of dying. That was lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down.
There's no better song about the aftermath.
Exactly. We've got plenty of songs about, the act of imbibing. Let's take it to the next step. Sunday Morning Coming Down. Johnny Cash absolutely knew. I'm sure he's felt like that plenty of times. So he knew how to convey the feeling of hurting after a night of boozing it up, as only that songwriting or as that duo could do. And actually, Chris Christopherson's version is not that bad. You might
No. He still had a fairly decent voice back when he wrote the song.
back at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My number 2 is probably the one song you don't want to hear if you're actually at a bar drinking because it just makes you feel bad about yourself. And that's the Replacements, Here Comes a Regular.
There you go. This is inspired. This
song is basically about losers in bars. It came on at the bar a couple of weeks ago on a Friday night, and everyone at the table just looked at each other and silently decided to give up.
Did they play this at Forecastle?
No, they did not.
not?
Play this at
Okay.
Forecastle. I can't remember. Maybe they did. I was
He was
so drunk
He
at
was
that
so
show.
drunk. Okay, they may have. That's all we can say.
Call out my name. Here comes the regular. Am I the only one here today?
All right, we are going to the top of the list, and these you have to double fist these songs because these are. I'm going with a song that if you were in Europe or in Germany in the late '80s, and you saw me running around, stumbling around, puking in the street, I had probably started the evening listening to the Pogues with Streams of Whiskey.
Nice one.
I absolutely love this song only because there is no way to interpret. You're not going to hear me sing any of the lyrics. They're unintelligible.
Right.
They're unintelligible. Da, 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 da. It's one of the greatest openings to a song. And if anybody knows how to drink, it's the Pogues.
Yeah.
Shane MacGowan. But you start off the night. You're pounding your beers, your schnapps, whatever you got, and you start. Da, 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 that's about all you can do. And then suddenly you break it. I am going, where streams of whiskey are flowing. Now, does that make me want to go rush over across the Atlantic and join up with the Pogues? Maybe. But it is. If you can't drink to that song, then you just can't.
Thank you for your service to our country, Tom, although
Thank
you were
you.
never sober the entire time.
I was not sober very often, but Streams of Whiskey has a lot of meaning for me, and it's not a slow drinking song. It's not slow and sad. It gets you fired up, ready to hit the streets and take on the British Army.
My number 1, I guess he's sort of our drinking totem spirit, our drinking spirit, Merle Haggard,
Yes.
Swinging Doors.
Oh.
One of the earliest songs I can ever remember loving and knowing the words to, because my mom and dad used to play it around the house. And it's just a song that sticks with you. It really captures, like you were saying, it without being maudlin or overly dramatic, it just captures that whole feel of when the bar is the only buddy you got.
Yes.
I've got swinging doors, a jukebox, and a bar stool. My new home has a flashing neon sign.
And
I think that sums it up as well as can be said.
yeah, I'm glad that we have several Merle songs in here.
It would be a travesty if we didn't. A travesty.
All right, well, once you sober up there at home,
Take a look at these lists.
take a look at these lists. You might see 4 lists. Pick any 2 and give us your thoughts at Vintage Vinyl on Facebook, CJ Vinyl Facebook, and you can hit us up on Twitter if you'd like, CJ Vinyl. We just want to hear what you drink to.
Boys!
Speaking of day drinking.
Do like Animal House, got hide the can.
Yeah, Mom.
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Ah.
99 bottles of beer. Join in.
As long as she doesn't come here and find the stash, then we're okay.
All right, on that note, come back next time for another edition of Vintage Vinyl.